And now, the last word with Rick Casey.
After 2.5 years of negotiation, litigation, vituperation, and long spells of inaction, we finally have a police contract. Why did it take so long? Well, both sides, city negotiators and the police union, will blame each other. But the basic fact is that it took so long because the city was asking for a lot. It was asking police officers to give up what were likely some of the most generous health benefits in the nation. Because of medical inflation, those benefits were gobbling up an ever-increasing portion of the city budget, a budget in which $2 of every $3 already go to the police and fire departments. But the council listed other issues it wanted addressed in the new contract. One was the detailed set of disciplinary rules that has built up through the years. Council members saw them as hindering efforts to hold errant officers accountable and to weed out bad cops. City negotiators raised the issue, but they were strongly rebuffed by the union. Meanwhile, the focus and the fight centered on health benefits. Councilman Ray Saldana a few weeks ago announced that he could not vote for the contract without disciplinary reform. He was backed by former Mayor Julian Castro and his brother, Congressman Joaquin Castro. But Mayor Ivy Taylor and a council majority declined to reopen negotiations. Saldana focused on contract provisions that limit the use of an officer's disciplinary history in determining punishment for fresh infractions. While the chief may know of prior infractions before making his decision on whether the accused officer is guilty and what the punishment should be, any guilty finding can be appealed to an arbitrator. The contract strictly limits what the arbitrator can learn about prior infractions. What's more, any prior incident that drew a 3-day suspension or less and is not appealed is automatically reduced to a written reprimand on the officer's record after 2 years. Saldana is correct that these limits are a problem. They are not the only problem in the contract. For example, the contract states that any officer under investigation shall be informed 48 hours prior to being interrogated of the general nature of the investigation and sufficient information to reasonably apprise the officer of the allegations that shall be provided. What's more, the officer must be allowed to review any complaints, affidavits, and other evidence, such as video or audio recordings or GPS records. Saldana wants these provisions out for the sake of transparency and accountability, but he raised the issue publicly only recently. He should learn from the groundwork done by City Manager Cheryl Scully. First, she marshaled the facts on medical benefits and obtained the support of then Mayor Castro and nearly the entire council. Then she persuaded the council to appoint a commission of citizens, city officials, and union members to study the issue. All but the union members signed on to a report that vividly portrayed the fiscal problem, and that report was given wide publicity. With that groundwork done, the police contract became an issue in the last city election. The mayoral candidate endorsed by the police and fire unions, former state senator Letitia Vandepute, was soundly defeated. Certainly, the police union got that message. Still, they were able to negotiate a substantial pay raise, a 3% bonus, and nearly 15% cumulative raises over the next 4 years that will more than cover the still modest contributions they must make for medical insurance. That will be on top of today's healthy paychecks. City records show that in fiscal 2015, the average officer, the bottom rank, earned $84,000, including overtime. For the average detective, it was nearly $98,000. Average sergeant, $114,000. Lieutenant, $127,500. And the average captain, $138,000. I'm sure you're like me. We want our police to be well paid. They do have a tough job, but we also want them held to high standards of conduct. Mayor Taylor says we can address these issues soon. I'm skeptical, so let's hope that Cheryl Scully's political lesson is remembered 5 years from now when this contract is up. And that's it for Texas Week. See you next time.